All made it back to the championship ring.
It'll start us off.
Well, guys, we're back for another episode. I think last week we decided it was episode 17, so this would make it
18,
okay.
18.
Just making sure my math was math. And today we have Duchesne County Fair Demolition Derby.
It says Aubrey Harris, but we'll call him Cole for today.
Cole.
So Cole is from Duchesne. Are you originally from Duchesne, Cole?
I'm actually originally from Francis, but I've been out in the basin longer than I lived in Francis. So,
Oh, so you're originally from the hill.
yep.
No wonder we get along.
How
There you
long?
go.
How long have you lived in the basin?
Since 2000, my parents moved from Francis to Neola in 2000. So,
Nice. And you like it out there?
I do. I love it. It's a good place to be, and less people. There seems to be more people from the hill are coming out this way a little bit.
Yeah, it seems like that. They're all getting priced out of Heber. They're all headed to the basin.
Yep.
I feel like Fruitland is like almost all old Heber people.
That's what I've been told.
Yeah.
Too.
So,
Yes, sir.
Cole, aren't you like a cowboy? Like, how are you even involved in Demolition Derby?
Well, I am a cowboy, but I used to derby back 20 years ago, I guess. I guess it wasn't 20 years ago. Back in my 20s, I used to derby in Duchesne. And back in the good old days, I remember Nate's face very well because in my first derby, he hit me harder than hell. And I was just kind of putting across the
I don't know
arena.
if
And
that
I
was
thought,
me.
I ain't doing that again. He don't even remember it, but I do because
don't.
it runs in my
Nate
bell.
doesn't remember it because he's never made a hard hit, so he's trying to figure out what hard hit you're talking about.
I am trying to remember because I always do shitty in Duchesne.
Maybe it was just felt harder than it was, but it my head hit the doorpost and I what in the hell just happened?
Hey, those are good days though.
Um, so how did how did you get involved? Because this is your second go around on the Demolition Derby in Duchesne. How did you get involved the first time?
So I had ran Duchesne's Derby probably for like, let me think, 6, 7 years. Like I would run that in Vernal every year, and it was just kind of like you guys running Heber's Derby. That's where I built my car was to go there, and I never really, I think 1 year out of those 6 years, I made it to the main, and I was like stoked. But anyways, I ran my cars there, and it was getting to a point, and nothing against anybody that was doing it before, but it was just getting to a point where everybody was coming there with like crazy builds because people at Duchesne didn't know any better. So they would just come and run whatever they wanted. And the Derby was kind of starting to fall off at that point. And they had, I can't even remember who was over it, but they were wanting to be done, and they asked me if I would help them with it. And I had some good ideas, I thought. And
Those are probably the same guys that wouldn't let us run not UDOT or DOT tires. I showed up there one year
yeah,
with forklift tires, and they made me replace all four tires.
yeah. There was a few things like that. Like I remember an instance when I had a Doba with the pucks pulled, and I had to take my coil over shocks off because those are illegal. They had to be factory shocks. So
Yeah.
just things like that. And so I felt like I had some good ideas. It was kind of getting away, like it was getting to a point that they were like almost being mean to the drivers, like beating up the drivers for coming to their derby. And in my mind, that's just the opposite. Like you can, in my mind, I don't care who shows up for the crowd. I got to take care of those drivers, or the crowd ain't going to get what they want, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you got to be nice to the drivers, take care of the drivers. And that was kind of the path I took then, and kind of where I want to get back to is just taking care of the drivers, let them know they're appreciated, and do everything I can for them.
I know that when Nate and I were first getting into Derby, I mean, Duchesne was honestly like, we didn't even know it was a Derby. We thought it was called Mud Bogs. I mean, it used to have 2 to 4 inches of standing water on the track at all times. I'm just like slimy, soupy mud out there.
Yep, that's where I got my first nickname. Was because of that arena.
And honestly, like it wasn't for how about time you took over, I felt like the dirt actually like changed.
Yeah.
The date, do you know if they redid the actual arena? I know that they like updated that whole complex quite a bit over the years, but I was kind of MIA there for a while, so I don't really know the history, but is that a different arena or is that all the same arena it's been for years?
It's the same arena, I believe. It's the same arena. I don't know if they redone the dirt in any way, shape, or form. But the biggest thing is like we just quit putting so much stinking water on it. Like it got so it was being looked at as a liability standpoint. The faster you're going, the more somebody's going to take a chance to get hurt. But we kind of proved it to them as that's really more dangerous. I mean, I hit more driver's doors than Duchesne when it was so wet. I mean, you're on the brake sliding clear across the arena and you couldn't stop.
I jumped the dirt into the grandstands. Very first derby, hit the brakes, didn't stop. Right into the
Yeah.
grandstands.
Yeah, and
And I took a pretty hard one in the door of a truck the first year they done trucks because of how wet it was. And it was pretty a bad deal, but I don't think they've changed it. We've just kind of changed their mind on how to prepare it a little bit. And there for a couple of years, though, I think it was the last year I ran it and you two helped me. It got like super deep and they couldn't get it to pack down. And I think they got below their clay level and got into some
Yeah,
sand. And
yeah.
then it got even worse. So we fought that. But I feel like last year the dirt was pretty good. It was a little soft.
I I last year was the first time I had driven there.
probably since.
No, I didn't never drove there.
No, I mean since. Well, yeah.
I mean, it was like probably like I'll bet you've been 15 plus years since I drove there.
I
Uh,
think the last time I seen you take a car out there was for Terra.
yeah. I had a couple bad experiences out there in the past. Like literally my very first derby ever, I got called out for a driver's door hit and my car wasn't even running. I got hit and pushed backwards into one of my friends in the driver's door and they literally called me out. My car wasn't even running. Like it, I mean, it's like that's like old school demolition derby. Like people think that like you even touch a driver's door and you're
Yeah.
automatically out. I mean,
Yeah.
people nowadays, I feel like the drivers have grasped the concept of driver's door hits a little more. But their pit crews, their moms, their dads, they're still like, if you touch the driver's door,
There's still a few drivers that throw fits if their door gets scraped.
yeah,
I watch them throw their hands up and start crying.
yeah.
You know who you are.
I there's one driver in particular from California that every time his door gets touched, he'll literally flop over and do the dead chicken. Anyways, like the driver's door things that can be a touchy subject no matter what demolition derby you're at, no matter what class you're in. It can totally be a touchy subject and back in the day it literally was like don't even look at the driver's side door, you're getting called out.
Yeah.
That's changed a lot over the years. I mean, we could spend 20 minutes debating that back and forth. But
Well, and it goes the other way too, because I've about got my butt kicked over calls that were made on drivers' doors. And
yeah.
there was a gentleman you probably know pretty well, Brad, had me by the throat and was gonna whoop my butt because his daughter got called out on a driver's door.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, people get really emotional, tensions are high and everyone handles it differently. But so let's fast forward. So now you're taking the Derby back over this year, taking kind of the reins
Yes.
again.
Yes.
Why don't you tell everybody listening how that even happened?
Well, I thought when I just gave it up, I could just walk away and be done. I thought, yep, I don't ever have to go to another derby. C'est la vie, I'm done with this. And that never happened. Every year I was back there begging for a pit pass just to go back and BS my buddies. And
Yeah.
you know how it is. You can't just give it up, you know?
Oh no, hell, it's too hard.
I've sold out,
Yeah,
bought back in several times.
yeah. So I, couple years ago, got conned into, I was trying to get a free pit pass, and they're like, "Oh, if you'll help us inspect cars," and it was a little bit rough. They kind of didn't understand the rules and how things worked, and it was kind of a rough year. And I was like, "Nope, no way." Here, I finally decided because I I love the Derby, and me and you've talked about this. Brad, Derby's kind of fading a little bit, especially in these smaller towns, and I would hate to see it go away. So I thought that I should come back and do my best to try to help keep it around and see if we couldn't come up with a few ideas and fresh ideas to keep things going in Duchesne,
Yeah,
because
like never,
it's a fun Derby. It's a Thursday night.
never in a million years did
Go
I
ahead.
ever think that I was going to be helping with the demolition derby. Like never. Like I never pictured me doing that. I always just thought that I would be the guy that just built cars and ran. So I think that when I do talk to quite a few people that do get into the promoting stuff, it's because they just don't want to see it go away. And most of the time it's because it's their hometowns. So like they just want to keep it going. So with going into this year, is it what kind of look is it? Is it going to be the same as the last few years? Are you giving it a fresh look? Are you keeping it kind of on the staying par? Like what's it going to look like for 2025?
So we're gonna change it up a little bit. The last few years we've just ran the limited weld class and done what we could with the car count we had, and we decided this year to go. And I'd done this in the past, like we done the limited weld in like a stock class, just to give. In my opinion, I was trying to give the guys that didn't want to spend a lot of money to build a car a chance to come Derby, and maybe some more of the hometown guys. And then when I left, it kind of got away from that. So this year we decided to go kind of back to what I was doing before and do basically two derbies with a limited weld and old iron wire class. So with that, if we get the car count to do it, we want to do basically two derbies in one night. We'll run whichever one, probably the uh, old iron wire, run those guys in their heats, and then switch back over to the limited weld, and then we'll have two main events at the end of the night.
Yeah. Which is for that show, I think it's a really good idea. I think you and I have kind of talked that it's a good step in the right direction. I feel like Duchesne could potentially move to like an all wire show, because I feel like that is like I'm just calling it how I see it, but I feel like the people that live out there, they're better suited for the old iron wire because they can still run, the different motors and transmissions and stuff, but it's a lot easier, less complex build.
Well, and I think one of the things they need to do as well, and I know you guys have a hard time with it, is getting the youth involved. I know that the county doesn't want the youth involved, but I mean, that's gave a full-on resurgence in Utah,
Yeah.
bringing the youth in and giving them an opportunity to get in there and drive a car and learn how to build.
Yeah, they need to figure out definitely how to get the younger kids involved because if you get a new generation born in the Uinta Basin of younger drivers, that could potentially help that
No,
Derby for years to come. Because
yeah.
right now you've got a good local core out there, but let's say that those 10 or 15 guys they retire over the next 5 to 8 years. I mean, you're
Yeah.
solely going to be relying on out of towners.
Yeah, and I mean, we seen it with Utah. It's real, or not Utah. We seen it with Heber before Johnny and that took it over, just relying on the hometown drivers. It's hard.
Yeah, because we were down to like around 15 drivers that were kind of local. And back in the mid 2000s, that 2010 era, Heber was kind of the dominant group in Utah. And so there's that stigma. If you go to Heber, you're going to get your ass kicked. You're going to get gang raped. And so when all those out of town guys quit coming, it literally we were relying on 14 guys to put on a show, and it just wasn't enough. And
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
that's when, they hired Stern Dirt.
Yeah.
Stern Dirt came in and revitalized the whole show, got it kind of going again.
Yeah.
They kind of got the heart pumping again. And then I feel like Ryan and I, when we took it over, I felt like we were able to take what they did and take it to another level.
Yep.
I think a lot of that's we're hometown people. We kind of know we have ties, so we can help make the show better having ties.
Yeah.
So with you being involved, Cole, I really think there's a great opportunity for you to expand that show. But I agree with Nate. I do think you guys, moving into next year, should try to look at getting more of the youth involved one way or another.
I've brought it up a few times, and I'm gonna keep bringing it up. I don't know. I don't know if that'll ever change. I'm gonna try. I do know I did learn that in the pits, at least now they can be 16 years old to be in the pits. So I guess that's a step in the right direction, because the last year I ran it, if you weren't 18 years old, you didn't
You could go in the
even go
pits.
close to anything. Like, you were in the
Well,
stands, and that was it.
in that case, it's hard to get kids excited in that area if they can't even go in and look at a car.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
mean, for me growing up, when we were going to our old fairgrounds, man, to get into the Derby, you had to walk through the pits and you got to see all the bright colors, all the cool cars. Like,
Yep.
if you can't see that stuff as a kid, like, you're never gonna have real interest in it,
Yeah.
I feel.
Camas is still that way, and
Yeah.
it's one of the coolest nostalgias of Camas is the bleachers are in the middle of the pits.
Yeah.
It is it is incredible. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where I got started wanting the Derby, was when we lived in Camas and going to the Derby. And I mean,
Yeah.
you're standing on the back of the bleachers looking over to them working on their Derby cars.
Yep.
To me, that was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to do when I grew up, you know?
I know. I wish I was a millionaire because, I think one of the coolest things that I think you could bring to Demolition Derby, I would love so much to put bumper cars in the pits and have these kids come in
Get a
and do
play out.
bumper cars. Like when all their dads and their brothers and aunts and everyone are out there working on these cars, you got the little kids over in the corner just doing
carring it
bumper
up.
cars. I think it would be
Yep,
so
that'd be pretty neat.
awesome for the kids, and I think it would keep them entertained. And hell, let's be honest, all of us Derby guys would be headed over there too, especially the pit
We'd
crew
be
guys.
taking our turn.
The pit crew guys are headed over there.
Well, let's be honest. How many times have we all been to Lagoon?
Yeah.
What's the one ride you want to ride? The
Yeah.
bumper cars.
And
Yep.
I wish that I was rich enough that I could either buy a set and bring in, or
Rent a set.
or get the carnival to come a week early and bring some bumper cars. But I think it would be cool as hell to get bumper cars in the pits. Like
Yeah.
I've thought about it 100 times, but I've never actually put the legwork in to try to make it happen. But you
It'd
know,
be cool. I think
maybe
that would
2026 we can make that happen, because I think it'd be awesome.
I think that would be cool.
So,
Yes, sir.
so you got the two wire classes, or sorry, you got the two classes. One's wire class, which is the old iron wire, and then you got the limited weld, which is like the Stern Dirt limited weld. So,
Yes.
what are you gonna do, if you see a decline potentially in the weld cars this year, maybe next year? Do you think you would potentially move into a full weld class or a full wire class?
I think I would. It would just kind of depend, see how things go. But one thing, like, I've had a lot of people, oh, we should do passenger heat and we should do Herbie Derby again and we should do all this. But the fact of the matter is I'm a small town and I got a small town budget to try to run a Derby on. And so right now I'm trying to focus on what's going to get us cars, like what other classes are being run, so we can try to bring in pre-ran cars or whatever to our show. But say we do have a less limited weld come in, maybe we could phase that out and have a powder puff or a Herbie Derby or something else. Like, I'm not just going to phase it out and have one class ever,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I
Well,
could
you
add more
can't.
to it.
you've got to have filler heats. The
Yeah.
crowd needs to be able to see something else too besides the same thing repetitive. I'll
Yep.
tell you, I don't know who's responsible for this, but whoever started the lawnmower races out there, I think that was such a great addition to that show because when I went out and watched those for the first time, actually, I don't know if I watched them. I
You
drove
drove.
in it the first year they did. I heard about it and did it. Just bringing that to the Demolition Derby, like for just a filler class, I thought was brilliant because it is funny. It's hilarious. It's actually, I found it very entertaining for 20 minutes. And in some cases, it was more entertaining than some of the heats. But
Yes.
I really, whoever did that, hats off to them. That was great. Um, we stole your idea. We added it into a Friday night of our show. We're not paying near as much as they are, but I think it's a really good stepping stone to come there and get tuned in and be ready for those guys 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to watch. I know I laughed pretty hard the first year you ran in it. So,
yeah. Well, I mean,
but
hell, I laughed last year. For all of you guys that weren't there, this dude comes buzzing around the corner, sitting on like a tractor seat bar stool, some sort, holding on to like a motor driven like push mower, basically like a chariot. And I laughed so damn hard. I thought it was so cool. And
yeah,
anyways, I found it very entertaining. Like I I don't think I would enjoy going and watching that for 3 hours, but to bring it out for 20 minutes, I thought it was fantastic. I mean, Ryan said the same thing as I did. Like we liked it so much, we chose to add it to our event because we needed something.
To fill the time.
Well, on Friday night for Heber, we're like, we need something that's different.
Yeah.
And we have stuff for Saturday nights all the championship heats, Friday nights like all the first like day of kickoff, but we needed something that was stood out on Friday, and we're counting on that. We're counting on those mowers to be the standout thing, the thing that people say, geez, next year I want to go on Friday night, not just Saturday night.
I'm curious to watch it because
yeah,
I haven't been to Duchesne since I helped Cole the last time he was the head person out there. So I haven't been able to watch it. I've seen it on video. Does look funny.
Yeah. So Cole, so last year I came to the Derby and I didn't even know what the rules were until like 3 days before the show. So you've already got the rules posted?
yes, rules are posted.
And where can they
They're on the
find the
website,
rules?
DuchesneCountyFair.com. You'll go to events and click on Derby, and that'll have your rules and registration and everything on there. I did go on to it today, and the registration said that it was timed out or something. My number's on there. Call me if you want to come. We'll write your name down because usually we're small town. We don't really do pre-registration, but I would like to try to have an idea of who's coming. So my
You
number's,
got to. I know that a lot of people don't like pre-registration, but even if you have a heads up, it like people don't realize how much that helps plan.
yeah. Well, and even like when I was doing it before, like we kind of done pre-registration, but they would just let me know. And to be honest, it takes a little bit off of my chest if I know some cars are coming, right?
Yeah.
Like it sucks to be sitting there and it's 2 or 3 o'clock and nobody showed up, and you're like, I might be dancing in the rain trying to put a show on for all these people
Yeah.
because I don't know if anybody's coming.
Well, and it's a little more difficult for you because your show's on a Thursday night.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's a lot of people that are working.
They
They
didn't get there till late.
they work till noon and then they rush home to grab their car. Some people still have to load them, and other people have them loaded, but by the time they get there, it's 6 o'clock, and you're like, oh shit, I finally got cars.
Hold on.
Yeah. And I
Hold on,
will do
Cole.
everything I can to help out with that.
Okay.
Like if you're running late, we'll do our best. I have had, I think it was Ryan Winterrose call me one year, and Like we're literally starting our first heat and he's like, "Hey, I'm in the parking lot." And I'm like, "Sorry, man, I can't help you now." Like things are rolling.
Yeah.
Hold on just 1 second. We're gonna close the window. We've had the train roll through and blow foghorn leghorn everywhere.
So,
Well, not to mention, Cole, usually on the weekend of Duchesne, for whatever reason, there's always road construction through the canyon.
oh yeah, coming from Highway 40 out to the basin, they're always like rock chip sealing and stuff. Every year, doesn't
Yep.
fail.
Yep.
Just depends on
Yep.
what section it is.
One year there was a bike race that held everybody
Oh
up.
yeah, the Tour of Utah or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I remember that shit. They like straight up shut roads down.
Yeah. Yeah. And they called me 3 days before the Derby and said, "Hey, just so you know, we're doing this race and we're shutting the road down." And I'm like, "Oh, great. Here we go."
Yeah.
Do you have your payouts for this year?
I do, for the most part. So these are subject to change and not in a bad way. I won't take anything away. I'll just make it better with anything I can. So for the limited weld, I was gonna go first 5,000, second 3,000, third 1,000, and then Mad Dog in that class will be $1,000. And then on the old iron wire, we're gonna go first 4,000, second 3,000, third 1,000, and then $1,000 Mad Dog in that class too. And depending on how things look, we might have to get creative on car count or whatever. But I do want to pay like $100 to the top two or top three in each heat. It just depends what we have for cars. Like I can't have 6 cars out there and pay the top three and put on a show, right?
Yeah.
So we'll just have to see how that goes.
Well, I think that you should have enough cars to at least get one heat out of a class. And I feel like you'll have at least, I feel like you'll have enough cars to have 4 heats. It just might be like 3 heats of one and one of the other, something random like that.
Yeah.
But I definitely think you'll have enough. Um, but I think that it's going to be a pretty good show. Like if you've never driven Duchesne, it is very, very unique. It is a very small show. The atmosphere is different. It is very relaxed.
Yep.
I mean, we used to make fun of Duchesne all the time, and like because it was so like podunk. But like the older I've gotten, it's like the more that I like it because it's like that.
Yeah.
It's
It's
just
a derby with no pressure.
yeah. One of my all-time favorite things about that derby, I know it's pretty stupid and no one else will give a shit, but the arena is here and there's a cliff up here
And
and
there's
people literally sit on that cliff and look down the derby every year. And I've always just thought that's really like just small town,
Yeah.
hometown feel, like it's something like you hear in a countryside.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just really cool. So, pretty good prize money too. I mean, because like 4 grand for Old Iron Wire, that's right on par with like every other show in Utah.
Yeah.
And then 5 grand for limited weld. I mean, I feel like that's pretty good too. So, a lot of guys that are running,
Stern dirt.
Stern Dirt Rules, Camus, they're able to bring those cars out there. I feel like it's a really good show. Second place show, and I think it's a good place to take a first car too.
Yeah.
So. Um,
Yeah, yeah, I hope we make it good. My biggest thing is I want to make the drivers happy. Like I want to take care of them. I'm gonna try and get some stuff for a driver raffle. Um, there might be some in the works. I'm trying. I've kind of got permission, but I got to make sure I got permission. I was gonna sell like extra pit passes and just do cash. That way, I don't know who else is gonna see this, but that way the county can't say, "Oh, this can't be used for the derby." So that way I have some extra cash we can put where we need to at the end of the night to help drivers out for coming to our show.
yeah. Well, I think that as a driver, I think that it's the small things that make a derby special to me. Like when you roll into like Manti, for example, there's not a whole lot of organization. It seems like it's pretty chaotic, but it's the small things of like a promoter coming telling you like thanks five
Yeah.
times for coming. It's the like them even texting you after the show telling you thanks for coming. It's all those small things. I think anything you can do, like one thing, Cole, that I feel like could set your show apart. I know it sounds stupid, but right there, kind of where everyone funnels out of the pits to go up to the bleachers. Just have a drink bin right there full of waters. I
Yeah.
mean, for these guys walking back and forth just to grab like a cold water. I mean, I know it sounds stupid, but those bottles of water are less than a quarter, and when you're thirsty,
Oh yeah.
it's very much appreciated. It's just the little stuff like that, a driver's raffle, if you can get some stuff, because a lot of times, not always, but those guys that win those raffles, it might be the only thing they take home that night. But if they got a new badass winch or a helmet or a tool set, it's the little things that might pull them back in.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
Everybody thinks it's the big things that make the big difference, but it's really just what he's saying, the little things that are as much as a thank you, like calling them later after the show and stuff like that. That's what means the most to a lot of the drivers.
yeah, and I mean, I don't do that. There's no way I could freaking call 200 people and tell them thank you or
No, but
whatever.
you do it in different ways, though.
But I mean, I will tell you, like, my number one goal is, just to go around and tell everyone thanks, and because you said it earlier, you've got to take care of your drivers, so that the drivers will continue to come back. That's who will put the show on for the crowd. They'll take care of the crowd if you take care of them.
Yep. We
Yeah.
just seen it in Eagle Mountain.
Yeah,
Was the car count there? 24?
about 24.
And it was one hell of a show. And
It was it's gonna be one of your better shows of the year. I know it sounds dumb, but 24 cars. I mean, I guarantee that 99% of those fans went away with a smile on their face.
Yep.
So, and you can do that. We got faith in you, Cole. First year back,
we do.
we
I was pissed when you stopped because it was on the
Well-
upward climb to being better.
you did a fantastic. How many years did you do last year? 6 times last time?
I think it was 5 years I done it
5
last
years?
time.
I mean, I didn't go all the years, but the year that I actually did go out and help you, I literally was going like, holy cow, like this is way better than it used to be.
Yep.
Like way better. And so hopefully, and I'm not saying I thought it was fine last year. I thought there was a little bit of kind of the unknowns last year that it seemed like they were still trying to kind of figure things out, and that's part of not knowing how many cars you have. And
Yeah.
I mean, because if
Yeah.
I remember right, we were literally in driver's meeting and there was cars still rolling in, and we're like, whoa, shit, the cars rolling in are going to have to be in the last heat because they're still rolling in. We got to
Yeah.
get the show moving. And so
Yep.
I do think that you'll be on top of the game a little bit, but why don't you hurry and shout out your phone number for anyone that's interested to be able to call you and at least let you know that they've got it in their head that they might come.
My number is 435-733-1077.
And
So-
if you guys are thinking about going, just shoot them a text and just say, hey, think about coming. Cole, you've got a Facebook page this year now, right?
Yes,
Why
I do, thanks to a buddy of mine. So it's Duchesne, what is it?
Duchesne
Nate?
County
Duchesne
Fair
County
Demolition
Fair
Derby.
Demolition Derby.
Yep.
I think it's actually best, guys, if you're listening to this right now, just go on and follow that page right now, because Cole will take some time as he's getting closer to give people updates and kind of let people know what's going on. And if you can just get on there the week of, it might be good for Cole to be able to put up like a post like, hey, like if you're coming, please let me know. Like, and this way it'll be kind of a reminder to let him know, because it really does help him out being on a Thursday night. If you're going to roll in there at 6:30 or whatever, it'd be really
Let
nice
him know.
for him to know that at least I've got 5 more cars coming,
Yep.
so I can put this show together.
Yeah, and like you say, let me know, because I'll do what I can to help. Like if
Yep.
we if I can get somebody to come inspect you, we'll do whatever we can. We need cars. I'm
You
not
need to
going to
get
turn you away
Zach
if
back.
I don't have to.
Keep calling Zach. Zach, I know you listen. Call him until he says yes.
Yeah, I told him we was getting the band back together, and he says, "Without me, you are."
No, his ass is coming back even if we have to drag him there.
Well, didn't you say he sent you a picture of the rules today? He's already dabbling in it a little
He's
bit.
looking. He's looking. He's trying to get it programmed into his
Hey,
brain.
maybe he's building the car.
He could. I'll never
Hey,
forget the
that'd be
year he
good
told me he
too.
wasn't driving in Heber, and I showed up and the son of a bitch had a car.
Well, I'm pretty sure on the Facebook page there's a picture of 77 on there, isn't there?
I believe so. He told me, he's like, "Thanks for putting the picture on there." I'm like, "That was all cool, bud. He's trying to
Yeah.
get you back."
Yep, it's the little things that count, Brad. It's the little things.
Well, I definitely think that you're gonna have some good success. I thought last year was pretty good, and I literally thought that there was a bunch of little things that would have made that show even better. And hopefully you've seen some of those things, capitalized on those.
Yeah.
You could, I mean, they still had some good guys out there last year running the show. I mean, I thought they did a good job for what they had.
They
So
they did, and like it's nothing against anybody. It was just a little bit of, I would say, just lack of knowledge on how things, like how rules are, and like when you've driven in a derby and stuff, you know how inconvenient it is to get the rules changed on you the last week before you show up, and there was a little bit of a few tempers raised at that, and it's just kind of, I don't know, it's just
I think there was a
not
lot
that
of
I've been there, done that, but I've been in those situations enough to know that it helps.
yeah, I think there was a lot of
Yep.
miscommunication last year because on the website they said that the rules was 2022, but they said that we were running Stern Dirt's 2025 rules, and so there was guys going like, "Oh, I don't know what we're doing," and then I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie, one of my friends is yelling at Cole in the pits,
Like
just
Cole's
yelling
in
at him,
charge.
and Cole's like, "I don't even work here, man. Like, what the hell you got me for? Like, I'm just here to watch the Derby." And they thought
Yeah.
Cole was still in charge from years ago, and he's like, "I'm just here to watch." So I think Cole liked that so much. He's like, "You know what?
I'm just gonna take a ration of shit and come back.
I think I need to come back. I love getting yelled at."
Yeah. Yes. One thing I will say is be patient with us. We'll do our best.
Well,
And
and if you're listening,
if,
give Cole feedback. Cole will soak it in like a sponge.
If
yeah,
you're another driver or promoter from a small county fair, take out like the bigger shows. But if you're from like a smaller town fair and you found something that helped your show, shoot him a text. Let Cole know, like, hey, this little thing helped our show. That's the best part about the little county fairs. They're all unique in their own way.
Yep.
Um, my wife loves the. She says that carnival and the food trucks and stuff are way better than ours. She's like, that's like way better carnival and food trucks than our carnival. And I mean,
I remember the food always being good out
it's like
there.
a 10% like size of Heber, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's literally like they put on there's more to it than just the Derby,
Hey,
guys.
they have a hotel out there now,
Yeah.
a
right?
couple of them.
See?
But take your family out. What are the tickets? Are they on sale? Are they sold out? Do they come in on sale?
I believe they're still on sale right now. It will sell out the closer we get to the night of the Derby. I think you just go on DuchesneCountyFair.com to buy your tickets. And I'll tell you what, it's probably one of the cheaper Derby tickets you're going to buy
It
in the
is. How
state.
much
It's
is
like
it?
14 or $15 a
Wow.
ticket.
So
And I
I'm
mean,
just throwing this out there right now. You could raise that up to $20. It's still selling out and get you some more prize money there, bud. Tell the county they can
I
keep $1, you get the other five.
I wish it was that easy, Brad. I need to have you come to my negotiations because
Hey,
He could sell a
I,
ketchup popsicle to a woman in white gloves.
I could. I'll get you $6 more, but I will tell you this. I had a whole point of view of like, why don't they do this? But when you go sit down at the table with your board and they start telling you why they don't do this stuff, it makes perfect sense to me. Especially like I'm just gonna give you guys a 30-second rundown. Take a family of 5 and send them over to the carnival for a couple hours, feed them, buy some derby tickets, and then turn around and buy rodeo tickets the next day. That's a lot of money for a family. And
Yeah.
that's why
Yeah.
tickets are cheap. I know that people would pay $20 for the ticket, but your commissioners, your fair board, whoever, the councilmen, they're trying to keep it affordable for a family.
They want the money spread out throughout.
All families have the same opportunity to go watch the shows and events because it is the county fair.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yep.
I went through this whole thing with Heber, and one they explained it to me. It makes perfect sense and you understand, but like when you go in there, you're just like, why are we not charging more? You know, the stupid
Yeah.
Utah Jazz play, they suck, and we're paying them $80 a ticket. I got the All-Star Derby guys, and we're selling for $14.
Yep.
Yep.
So that's a
No,
lot
I
of
agree.
reason.
There's little things to everything they do. I mean, every derby would be awesome if you could just go to your county commissioners and say, "Hey, I need Brad Bowman's budget to run a derby." We could all have it, right?
Hey, bud, for $12.99 and a big gulp, I'll go to your next meeting with you.
Okay.
I'll tell them I'm a new resident in town.
There you go. You moved to Fruitland. That's in Duchesne County.
Well, yeah. If anyone wants to sponsor me like a lot out there so I can store all my cars on, then it could be legit.
Then you have a permanent address out
Yeah,
there.
I could put a post office box right out there and say, I'm part of this county and we need some more Derby prize money.
There you go. No,
So-
it'll be good. We're gonna try our hardest, and like I say, be patient with us. And well, Rome wasn't built in a day, but we'll try our best and keep everybody happy.
And I mean, we don't need to talk about it today, but I have had conversations with Cole. He's got some really good backup plans for different card counts, and that's why he didn't want to go too much into it with like his extra money and stuff, but like he's got ideas to make it work no matter what the card counts are, but it would be really great if we could get at least, a solid 15 cars in each class. That would put on a heck of a derby for out there.
Yeah, it would.
So if you never drove like and you got an old iron wire car, consider hitting them up. $4,000.
Yep.
It's not that far from. You got Heber and Camus and Coville and UTC that are all running old iron wire right before. Like if you got something left over,
Just take it and go have fun.
yeah,
That's what the hell this sport's about.
yep.
Yeah. Come have fun and enjoy some good fair food. Apparently.
So have you told your wife that you took the Derby back over yet?
Yeah, she called me stupid.
All right. As long as
Some days I agree with her, but like I say, it's kind of one of those love-hate relationships. I love it and I want it to last, but then Nate knows this. Sometimes I call Nate and say, next time I decide to do this, just kick me in the nuts and get it over with and be done.
Oh yeah.
Well,
But-
we wish you luck. I know Nate's helping you. I'm hoping to be in a car. If for some reason I don't have a car, I'm gonna definitely jump in and help you guys as well. I wish you the best of luck, and we'll definitely follow back with you when it gets a little closer or shortly after. I know
Okay.
it's gonna get busy quick, but
Oh, yeah.
we just wanted to get people on here and let Cole get his information out because in the past the information hasn't been out, soon enough. People don't even know where the Derby is.
Yeah, I think the last 2 years I haven't seen a single post about when it is, and half the time I'll get on Justin's Snapchat and he's at the Derby. I'm like, oh shit, the Derby was tonight.
This is a true story. I went out to Duchesne last year and ended up winning, and I swear to you, I had no idea how much I won. My wife asked me after, she goes, "How much did you win?" I'm like, "I have no idea." Like until they handed me a check, I had no idea even what the purse was. Like I had an idea, but they actually gave me more money than I was expecting. And so that's why we got Cole on here though. Cole, he wanted to get the rules out. Guys, the rules are, they're on Stern Dirt's website as well. You can get the old iron wire off to check behavior as well, but it's on stern dirt. Like the Duchesne County, it's that same rule package, the limited weld stern dirts. So that's the rules. He's got good payouts, 4 grand to win the wire class, 5 to win the limited weld. If you've got cars, hit him up.
Yep.
So, Cole, thank you very much for coming on. We really appreciate your time and we wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, thank you guys a million. You guys have been awesome to help me out and figure this out, and hopefully we can make the Derby great again. We'll see what we can do. So
I think you'll do it.
We got faith in you.
it just takes good drivers. So
Yep.
all the drivers come help us out and we'll make her great. So
Well, thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
yep, thank you guys.